Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it is a Monday high noon here in the SWBC podcast studio. It's a new week, a better week than last week, a better week than the week before. And this is Mick Shots. Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola. Everson Walls is on assignment. Not sure what assignment he's on, but he's on assignment somewhere.
Somewhere in the United States.
In fact, he's going to be on assignment the next few days. And in the meantime, we carry on. We come back from the bye week, and we're not the only ones who came back from the bye week. The players are in the building.
They were on the field.
On the field.
Doing a lot of running.
Got to make sure what kind of condition they're in after their long week off.
Can't take any chances with soft tissue injuries.
That's right. And my experience has been that it can be a dangerous day as far as the Monday after a bye week.
Because you don't know what these guys did for 7 days.
So
right?
we want to make sure, and we'll probably ramp it up more so come Wednesday.
That's good, Bill.
That's just been my experience in the league.
That's right.
So how was your weekend as we are now being joined by Nate in Frisco? Let's let Nate in Frisco get settled in here.
Wonder how his weekend was.
Well,
great.
Yeah. Very good.
I never can lose, baby, on a bye week. I never. How y'all guys doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, it's a new week.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I even won on a bye week.
Yeah, you did. Boy, I know you were sick.
I don't know how you pulled that game out.
To be just upset the whole game and then, we won.
I wasn't upset. When you lose your quarterback for 2.5 quarters, chances are you're not going to do well.
Shoot, man.
And then he rose from almost dead, I think.
Yeah.
So he came back and played in the game. We're talking about Missouri football, and they were playing
Auburn.
Yeah.
Homecoming.
A team that Oklahoma beat.
Imagine that. You don't have your starter, and it's 17-6 when he returns and drives them 80 yards for a touchdown and 95 yards.
So you're willing
for
to
a
say
touchdown.
that is his name Brady Cook?
Brady Cook?
He's a draftable player?
I don't know that he is, but he
Okay.
doesn't have to buy a beer in Columbia all week. I guarantee you that. After they took him across the street for an MRI. Had to take an MRI. You know
during
how
the
long
game?
Yes. You know how long
And they got the
MRI
results
takes?
back during the game?
And they got the results back. And
that just go to show you that we pay a whole lot of extra money when we can get an MRI and get it done that quickly.
Well, when the university hospital's right across the street, you can probably pull, hey, this is about a football game. Do this now and read it.
Yes.
There's enough time left in this game we can salvage the day. If
Got back for the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The other amazing thing is when he tried to work out, it wasn't working very well, and they told him, we can do one more thing. Not sure what they did, but
they did it.
They did it.
All right. You watch any NFL football on Sunday?
Yeah, I just listened to it. I didn't really watch
You were driving
it. The Red
around,
Zone.
probably.
Yeah. I was all where they make the boots, Nakata or whatever.
Nakona.
Yeah,
Nakona.
I was up there. I just drive around, have fun. I mean, listen to the Red Zone, listen to college Learfield sports. That's how I listen to everything. So I don't watch nothing.
On the elliptical, that's what I'm doing. I was listening to Greg Papa and the San Francisco 49er Network and on the elliptical yesterday afternoon, and he would describe the Patrick Mahomes run that I'm watching on NFL Network right now.
33 yards,
the longest of his career, where even downfield he's faking a pass, and amazing. But
you know what happens on those things, though? When the quarterback's dancing down the sideline, everybody's scared to hit him because they're afraid they're going to hit him out of bounds.
Penalty.
Oh, he's good at that. He's
I know.
one of the best.
He takes advantage of it. But he delivered a little punch there on the goal line, didn't he?
Yes,
Mahomes.
he did. Speaking of punches.
Wait. No, Nate, you chuckled at that.
I do because
A little forearm shiver at the goal line.
That is him setting you up all game long, running down that sideline where you scared to hit him. So now you forget you're in the middle of the field where you can punish him, and he wound up delivering
Punishing you.
Just the mental psyche that he plays with that. This kid is uniquely special, which we all know. What I've learned in every bye week is simply this right here. Do you have the players to compete week in and week out? I've listened to most every show, a little bit of every show. Motion, no motion, which is the best? This player, that player, scheme up this, scheme up that, this, that, and other. And Brian Broaddus said it the best. How about just having good players?
Mm-hmm.
Or healthy ones.
Yes, either way. They are the same. Like Jimmy Johnson said, they are the same. Healthy players, good players, and players that play hard every week. Those players I could use. And I'm listening. I'm listening to everybody with all these great ideas. At the end of the year, what you just said, Mickey, who has the most amount of good players who are healthy and on the field, those are the guys that's going to make the run with 4 or 5 games left. Those are the guys that's going to seal up the wild card spots. Those are the guys that's going to win their divisions and be in the conference games. So, bottom line, get your players healthy.
And let me say this, Mickey, before you respond, on the subject of Patrick Mahomes and the Cowboys' next opponent, Brock Purdy in San Francisco. These were the passing numbers for Mahomes and Purdy yesterday.
Right here. Go ahead.
Mahomes was 16 of 27 for 154 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice. He had 5 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown.
Did he throw interceptions?
And he got 2.
Two.
And he got his quarterback rating?
And I do not on this. On what I'm looking.
44.4.
Okay, Brock Purdy.
44.4.
Okay, keep that in mind. Now, Brock Purdy, 17 of 31 for 212. No touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked once. He had 8 carries for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And what was the score?
36.7.
28 to 18,
rating.
Kansas City beat San Francisco.
Fellas, the more you want to get away from hard-nosed football, the more you come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the amazing thing that I watch. When you are playing good football and solid football, it ain't necessary that you score 30 points. It's necessary that you play great defense. It's necessary that your special teams do not put you in bad positions. Your punter helps you flip the field. Your return team covers great. You don't have ridiculously long field goals. I'm talking about, we have sat here, and I remember the first 2 weeks of the season, we talked about, man, they're kicking 50-plus yarders at a 70-yard clip. Well, that ain't happening now. As the season go on, you'll see less and less of that because teams are understanding that kickers are great to win games at the end of games or to get a few points right before the half, but these are not the guys that are going to win games for you on a regular basis. Mahomes, what he did, his defense, what they did is what's going to win you games.
I thought San Francisco was the tough team.
They are, but if you go back and look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they are winning because of their defense. They are winning. Look at their defense. They probably giving up points. They probably up in the top 5 and giving up. People watch football different than me. I don't do fantasy football. I do points. That tells me everything. If you're averaging 35 points a game, that tells me, number 1, that you're a good scoring offense. Number 2, your defense is suspect. But if you're scoring around 24 points a game with a winning record, that tells me that your defense is nice, that your special teams is okay, and that you're efficient offense.
Well,
so your Kansas City Chiefs.
Do you think it makes a difference,
right,
if your top 3 wide receivers aren't in the game.
Yeah, unless you're Mahomes.
No, San Francisco.
See, the thing about San Francisco is they are a quarterback-driven team that people don't want to give credit. Brock Purdy is very efficient.
But not when he has 3 receivers missing.
Don't forget his running back.
And the running back.
I agree with you.
Running back.
But it took all of that. Normally, if he has 1 or 2 guys missing, he's good enough to get over the hump. Just think, it took all of that for him to be efficient.
18 points.
Yeah. So it still comes down as the great late. Well, he's not dead, but Galloway.
He's dead on in the media now
yeah.
because he's
So-
not on the media. He's retired.
We used to always hear him say this, and he's one of the first guys said it 20 years ago. It's all about the quarterback. It's all about the quarterback. And people say, "Bro, I told you Brock Purdy was a system quarterback." He ain't got.
And to your point, though, Mickey, what does Mahomes have at wide receiver?
Yeah.
That is elite. That is something different.
But look at what their defense did.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. When you
I'm saying
score-
what they don't have at wide receiver. I mean, that's
Well,
been,
and let's just move forward. They all going to be back this week? Because Ayuk looks like he tore his ACL.
right.
He's probably out.
Debo should be back. He was just sick.
Debo was sick. Juwan Jennings has been out.
Uh-huh.
And they were playing with some guy named Pearsall Cowings. And
Ricky Pearsall, who was a first-round draft pick.
but he hadn't played.
I know, because he
But
got
see-
shot. He was
That was his first catch.
got shot in the chest.
brother.
And he's back.
Now let's bring it back round to the Cowboys.
All right.
Let's bring it back round to the Cowboys. The same thing that you just told me about the 49ers is the same way, even though when we get our guys back, a whole lot won't change, but enough will change. That is why when we beat Pittsburgh and we were so happy, we was excited. But what you're asking guys is you're asking backups, true third, fourth team, practice to play week in and week out top-notch football. It's not going to happen. That's what happened to Dallas. When Detroit came in here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, when Detroit came in here.
I'm being facetious.
I know you are. We just can't tell you keep the same demeanor. When Detroit came here with that offensive line, I knew. Everybody knew. We just wondered how bad. You cannot be, forgive me over there, y'all, you cannot line up perennial third-teamers and practice squad guys against the elite offense or elite defense. That's what happened to the 49ers. These wide receivers like, this ain't the practice squad guys I'm going against. These are guys that's bringing the heat. And nobody can block Chris Jones. Nobody can block him. So,
Speaking of Kansas City's defense, their offense, to your point, has scored this season, starting with the first game of the year against the Ravens. Mm-hmm. These are all victories. Their offense scored 27, 26, 22, 17, 26, and 28 points.
if you score 30 or more points, that tells me two things. You got a sorry defense, and you got an elite offense. And your special teams can be anywhere. But if you average 27 or less and you winning, that means you got a nice defense and good special teams.
What if you're averaging 21?
21 points a game and winning?
No.
Because you ain't winning.
You're
This is the
500.
league.
Usually you're not winning.
Now you that guy that's kicking these 50-yard field goals and
So the Cowboys.
yeah, you're in the middle of the road.
Right.
And that's who we are. But I like to listen to everybody.
Have you seen Mahomes' stats for this season?
They're not pretty.
No. Listen,
not
they're
pretty.
not. Now, he's completing 68% of his passes for 1,389 yards. He has 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
They're not pretty.
6 passing touchdowns.
6 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
How many
11
rushing
sacks.
touchdowns do they have?
He himself has 1 rushing touchdown.
No, I'm talking about the team.
Yeah, well, I don't have
Because
that in front of me.
Kareem Hunt It's brought a punch to them.
But they're the only undefeated team left.
Because they're playing great team. The thing that's hurting the Cowboys is I've heard what everybody said.
They have 9 rushing touchdowns as a team.
I've heard what everybody said, and I've listened to everybody. And the only problem the Cowboys have is their players has to learn how to play 60 minutes of full, hard-nosed football. And once they learn that, if they can learn that, they will be successful. If they can play 60 minutes of hard-nosed, I don't care what happens out on this field, we're going to win this game, they will look and be better. I just believe that.
Well, we can start with getting some of your top 4 defensive ends back on the field. That would help. It would help if your middle linebacker is back on the field.
It would.
It would help if your second wide receiver is back on the field.
It would.
That's not happening this week, though.
I don't think so.
He's on IR. The second wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, the second wide receiver is knocked back.
Right.
But I think Kendricks has got a chance. I think Micah has a chance. I think Duron Bland has a chance.
Please give him a snap count. Our corners are based on one thing. The way they like to play and the way they're allowed to play is 2 different ways now. They're not those heat-seeking missiles that we saw in the past. I don't think Zim likes that erratic type of ball playing. I mean, if you can get an interception, he kind of want it to be from how he like it to be. Everything is based on, can we get a pass rush? That is how our corners are at their best.
Well, and they haven't.
Yeah, so the bottom line is this right here. It's still going to come down to 6 guys. You know, the 2 tackles, the 2 defensive ends, that's 4, then the 2 guys that rotate in at the tackles and the defensive end. These guys got to be dominant. And until we get dominant, we're going to see bad games.
All right, when we come back here on Mix Shots, one of my observations at halftime of the early games yesterday as it relates to running the football in this league and how it relates to the Cowboys when Mix Shots continues in a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Back to Mick Shots.
Well, Nate, did you know the Cowboys take on the 49ers in Santa Clara on Sunday, October 27th? So we're hosting another free watch party presented by 7-Eleven. Join us at the Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium to watch the game with Cowboys Nation. Cue Thunderstruck because the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are performing and Rowdy will be there too. Watch the game, grab a Slurpee, and cheer loud. Get your free tickets at dallascowboys.com/watch party.
What are we queuing again?
Thunderstruck.
Okay. Not Thunderstruck, but Thunderstruck.
There's an R in there.
All right. Did you watch? By the way, that is a Sunday night game. We got Sunday night football this week. Cowboys and the Niners. Shocking that they picked that game for Sunday night football. How about the fact that the Steelers were on Sunday night football 2 out of 3 weeks?
Did you watch that?
Did you?
Yes.
I watched it. What takeaways?
I'm glad we played against Fields. I am so happy.
That was my takeaway.
That is, I was like, wow. And then we have Highsmith at the defensive end. I'm like, whoa, did we get blessed?
See, it hasn't been all bad news this season.
Nah.
Caught that break.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
And that just hammers home what I keep. You either have the players that have the motors to want to play, or you don't. And when you don't, you make it come down to the quarterbacks. And normally, the quarterbacks is what decide who wins the game. Don't sit there. You're trying to figure out, well, is it in the chinks in Nate's armor? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Ask Texas.
Has something to do with something to do with the offensive line, right?
Everything.
Can those kids get sacked anymore in that game?
Wait till the draft. You wait till the draft show, and everything will be talked about except offensive linemen.
The Texas tackles.
I'm gonna tell you something. Georgia needed that game, and they played like it. Mm-hmm. They played old school football. They just kept trying to run that rock, and they tip balls that were just it was like I said. I listened to
Texas should have known they were in trouble about 2:30 in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. When they saw that Oklahoma was losing to South Carolina 32-3 at halftime.
Wow.
And Texas beat OU 34-3. And it was 32-3 at halftime. And that underscored the fact you haven't played anybody yet. And they played somebody on Saturday night. And give credit to Texas how they came back in that game.
Yes, sir.
And if they played again, it might be a different story.
The thing that I think, and this is OU too, and this is Texas, I think they're prepared. I think even though OU has got a different quarterback, a young kid.
Well, they don't have an offensive line, so problem.
But they are prepared. I think they are more prepared than people give them credit for coming into the SEC. I really do. The games are gonna be like this the first year, but I promise you, next year I don't think Oklahoma or Texas will. Well, Texas is doing okay, but I think Oklahoma will be much better next year. I really do, because now you see. Once you see and once you feel, now you can improve.
All right.
Backup quarterback, though, right?
Although
he's a starter.
No, it's just young quarterbacks.
Just young, I promise you.
The problem is
they won't have that offensive line problem next year. I promise you that.
They'll fix that problem.
Yes.
The transfer portal, they will have.
All you got to do is go get one. You don't have to go get 5.
No, they need 5.
No, don't.
Can't pay 5.
Trust me.
No, unless there are 4 seniors, 5 seniors, don't word to anybody that's smart about this portal.
Yeah.
Unless you have a senior field team, don't fill the portal with 1-year guys.
That's right.
Go out and get you.
It's the old JUCO thing.
Yeah.
It's like, in fact, that's the way it used to be in college football.
That's right. The JUCO used to feed it,
You would get a guy who's a JUCO offensive left tackle.
Thank you.
Okay, that maybe didn't have the grades to get in a big school, but was recruited initially, and then he fills in, and now you got a national championship team.
Yes, and so that is my thing. I talked to Dion here earlier, and he, about right before when I got your text, I was just getting off the phone with Dion, and I told him, I said, Dion, now next year you got to have a few young ones. He said, we've learned. Because it takes too many games to get portal kids to start playing together.
Yeah.
You 4 games
you gotta
in.
have a core.
Yeah.
Is that like signing free agents?
Yeah. It's about like for signing free agents. It's about like, playing with third and fourth teamers.
Which we go ahead. You want to get into that run thing? Yeah.
Okay. It just occurred to me as I'm watching. I was flipping back and forth between the Texans-Packers game, and Joe Mixon was going off, and then you got Josh Jacobs for Green Bay.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm flipping over to the Lions-Vikings game, and even though Montgomery got hurt in the first half, Jahmyr Gibbs was going off, and then they got Aaron Jones who was going off. And so I just started, at halftime of the early games, I went through and I found the teams that were in the lead. These were the rushing totals, the top rushers for the teams that were winning the early games yesterday. Okay? Philadelphia was up on the Giants 14-3, and Barkley had 10 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown, 7.9 yards a carry. Seattle was beating Atlanta, and Kenneth Walker had 6 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown, 7.5 yards a carry. Detroit was leading Minnesota 21-10. Jahmyr Gibbs had 8 carries for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's 10.5 yards a carry. Houston was beating Green Bay 19-14, and Joe Mixon had 11 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns, 7.4 yards a carry. Tennessee was beating Buffalo, and Tony Pollard was 11 for 65, 5.9 yards a carry. And Miami was leading Indianapolis, and Devon Achane was 12 for 59, 5 yards a carry. I went back and then looked at the Cowboys. And this is before, now, in the case of the Cowboys, several of these games got out of hand in the second quarter. Right. But the reason I was looking at halftime and not end-of-game totals is
some of those teams got beat.
You're establishing your game plan in the first half of games. Yes. You haven't strayed from it yet.
Right.
All right. Cowboys were trailing the Lions 27-6 at halftime. They had, in total, they had 8 carries for 14 yards in the first half of that game. Pittsburgh game, Cowboys were leading 6-3. In total, they had 8 carries for 27 yards. Right. So that's less than 3.5 yards a carry. Giants game, they were winning 14-9. First half of that game, 6 carries, 19 yards, 3 yards a carry. Baltimore game, they were trailing 21-6, 9 carries, 26 yards, less than 3 yards a carry. Anyway, that's the last 4 games.
What happened to Cleveland?
Cleveland, okay, that's a great point. They were ahead 20-3, 15 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. And by the way, Zeke was the leading carrier, 8 carries, 35 yards and a touchdown in that game against Cleveland. Against a team that was coming back with the number 1 defense in the league. First game of the year.
So, how do you fix that?
Well, it looks to me like, in some ways, there's not enough carries there.
Right.
Okay.
But
you got to fix the offensive line.
Got to have first downs to have carries, and to have more carries, the offensive line's got to run block better.
Yeah.
You
don't you think?
The run blocking is, I agree with 100%, but the mentality of your head coach, which is your offensive coordinator, has to be that. It had. I promised myself, and you took me down this rabbit hole. I promised myself I wasn't going to come in and just go off about just better offensive line play. And if you don't want to run the ball, don't run it at all. Don't give me these petty numbers because you just don't want to run the ball. Or Dak is changing the play, or whatever. You You have to run. Your offensive line is not good enough for you not to try to run the ball, because Dak is taking hit after hit after hit. Your line is falling apart mentally. You can see it just falling apart because the more times that he turned around, I got to pick my quarterback up because it's my man that done ran past me or over me or through me. You got to give me some help. And it can't be two tight ends in and we chipping, because that ain't helping. You got to have dead runs, and it's runs with no gain. Just it's third and 10, because we tried to run the first two downs. It's 3rd and 10. We tried to run the first two downs, but guess what? I'd rather give Dak a 3rd and 10 than a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, because these kids running back here just killing him. So that's just what I believe. That's just what I believe. You cannot leave these kids out here to get beat like that. You got a center that's a 3rd-round pick. You got a left tackle that's a 1st-round pick, but they're still inexperienced kids. You got a deteriorating right guard who slowly just his age is showing. Bless his heart, super guy, Superman. But he's deteriorating. Your right tackle has all the heart in the world, but not the ability. Your left guard is your best guy you got, but that's just one guy.
But he had to play tackle.
Yes.
And you had another rookie free agent, or not
yes,
rookie.
Bass is going to be all right.
But he's got to get seasoned.
Yeah, he's got to get seasoned, but he's going to be all right. But the thing is, now you have no continuity. Your Guyton goes out. Now he's reinserted again. Luckily, we just moving our left tackle back down the guard, so that's going to bring back some continuity for this team. But, fellas, I understand we don't have a running game. But please listen to me, because I do not want to hear at the end of the year, well, we should have just ran the ball more.
No, here's what you're going to hear.
You're
going to hear draft a 1st-round running back.
Don't do that to me, man.
It already started. That was the first question I had today.
You know what? I wanted Jahmyr Gibbs when he came out, and I think I was talking to Kyle, who does the draft show. Nobody talked about Jahmyr Gibbs.
I loved him.
And I loved him. I'm like, nobody talked about him. But the kid from Texas, everybody talked about.
Bijan?
I love him. Not like I love Jahmyr Gibbs.
But you weren't going to get him.
But the bottom line is, get him. With this offensive line in the position it's in now. Get him. And what you'll have in about 4 weeks, well, we're going to have to take the kid from Texas out because he's beat up.
That's right.
Come on, man. Come on. This is what I can prove to anybody. The teams that are winning, the teams that are with the 4 and 5 wins, check their offensive lines out. They are healthy, and they're good.
That's exactly right.
And experienced.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
They're healthy, and they're good.
That's too simple.
Yeah, but I'm going to get on the draft show so I can wreck the draft show.
They're going to kick you off.
Yeah. Because all I'm going to ask them every week is what lineman. I'm not a good guy. We're not a good team right now, and I'm not a good guy. Because I'm not going to say I'm not going to repeat what Troy said. I'm not going to repeat what Troy said. I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay. And I won't either. Right.
But
now.
Troy said.
For me to address those comments.
Yeah.
All right. We continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Hey, parents, get ready for a spooktacular time at Little Stars presented by Nuna on Wednesday, October 30th. This free Halloween-themed event is perfect for your little pumpkins, age 5 and under. Join us from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for fun activities, silly games, and lots of treats. Visit thestardistrict.com for more information. Does Joe Buck have to read stuff about little pumpkins?
You ain't Joe Buck, baby.
I am well aware.
No one accused you of being Joe Buck.
Well aware.
Joe
All right.
Buck, baby.
What you got on your legal pad there, Mickey?
Well,
Mike McCarthy had a press conference this morning and bright and early, 9 a.m.
He had a lot to say about what they were going to do this week. Had a lot to say.
He made the mistake of saying something that was the state of the Cowboys, and so now it's the state of the Cowboys
It was
address.
the state of the Cowboys address to the team.
Right.
We got that.
But that starts the state of the Cowboys questions from the media.
Yeah, what is the state of the Cowboys, right? He talked quite a bit about ball security. Do you realize they are -6? -6. 5 takeaways, 11 turnovers. That ties them for 28th in the league at -6. Only 2 teams.
What were they before the last game?
They didn't get any.
-1.
Right?
They were -1 before the last game. So one game made it -6.
Yeah, you're right. Because only 2 teams have worse turnover differential than the Cowboy. And 3 of those turnovers were at the end when the game was basically decided.
Yeah.
So
sometimes that can
But anyway, take care of the ball. He talked about, somebody asked him if this game's going to tilt the season. And his response was, this is an opportunity to get to 4 wins. So he avoided that the way he probably should have avoided the Troy Aikman question, by the way.
Oh, you think he should have avoided the Troy Aikman question?
I think he should have just skirted right by it.
What was the answer to the Troy Aikman question?
He addressed it. That was the problem.
You want me to read it?
Yes, sir. I would really like to hear that.
You know what Troy said, right?
Yes,
about
I understand
the receivers,
what Troy said, yes.
the routes. He said, for me to address those comments, I don't, because they don't carry any weight with me, because I watch all the tape. I get to go to the meetings. I'm at practice. I'm part of the games. I have a clear understanding of what and where, and Troy's statement in particular, I don't agree with the word selection, but there is definitely need for improvement in every position, not just one position that he commented on.
See, it wasn't so much what he said in response to Troy's criticism last week. The fact that he addressed it means that we in the media will start playing Troy's criticism again.
I tell you,
so
like
it gave legs again to what Troy said last week, and people ran it last week. Okay, Thursday, Friday, and now the weekend happens and it's over and done with. Well, the fact that he addressed it today, and he addressed it fine, but I would have recommended don't even touch it. Just say everybody's got their own opinion. We're going to work and getting ready for 49ers. Basically pull a Belichick, because what happens by addressing it is now what people like me will go on our air tonight and we'll replay what Troy said, and now it'll get legs again. So,
So tell me this, and he was talking about some of the difficulties on the offensive line. He said we're facing line movements as soon as they get off the bus. So when the defensive line shifts, is that a tough thing to get used to if you're a young offensive lineman?
And running back. When they run let's say the center, the guard, and the tackle is turning towards your defensive end and a tackle.
Okay.
And when I turn, right before I turn, a safety come up to the line right between the center and guard. So that takes the center off the turn. He got that guy that's blitzing. Where if you running a game over there and you running a game between the tackle, the defensive end, and the tackle, and that tackle goes out and the defensive end come around and that guard don't catch it, and you got a running back coming up, that running back got to get him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what happens when, how the defensive line's now
I'm telling
shifting?
Yeah. And no, it ain't shifting that's killing them. They can deal with the shifts. It's the late games, the tackles, the ends, the linebackers, the safe. It's the late movement that's killing these guys and the running back, because they can't handle the games. I mean, if you shift and you give me enough time to look at it, it's cool. But a late shift or a game, that is what we're not picking up. And that has come from being in practice, practicing with some type of speed, not saying that you hit, but with some type of speed, and look at it close to being live and run through these things. Because we used to do the same thing when we first started, when we had the Schuler system. We could never get it together. But when Norv came in and dumbing it down, now our practices was a little bit more sharper, a little bit more clear, and Darryl Johnson was a part of this. Our running backs was a part. Even Emmett would get into it sometime. So, okay, what if this happened? What if this happened? You got to ask questions, and you got to ask the right questions, and you got to have the plays that fit, these protections. You can say, man, I got this great route I'm running. I got this great combination of routes I'm running. Well, the first thing that an offensive coordinator would do is say, well, we better go to the offensive line coach and see how we're going to block this. Because this is the look we'll have. And with this look, it's a possible game situation, possible blitz off the outside, or possible blitz up the middle with this look. So that is what Coach talking about. They're not picking up the games, or they're not picking up the late shifts. You do it early, we got you. You do it late, we don't have it.
And that's how they got the one, I think it was Watts.
Yes.
Not Watt, Hutchinson's sack. He looped inside.
Yes.
And the fullback doubled.
Yes,
to
doubled
the right.
with the guy. And that is one with a more experienced guy would have picked that up, because he'd have been slow to go to it. You already see your guard turning, boom. And you have to be quick about it with your eyes, not so much your feet. Be quick about it. He just didn't see it.
Yeah.
The thing that is hurting when you have a young offensive line, you can't afford an injury. Because every rep is so paramount. You cannot afford an injury. So by our left tackle left guard moving out the left tackle, putting Bass in, by you not having a lot of experience with Bass.
Yeah, so harder picking up those.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of experience with the center, and that's why it was so key to me. And if they do it next year, when you bring in a Rams team, or you bring in any team that has a good defensive line or potential of a good defensive line, your offensive line got to be locked in. can't nobody miss practice that day. If you're not seriously injured, you got to be in practice because this is some key and valuable work. You can't miss no preseason games. Like next year, if we go into preseason and we have a young right guard, they got to play. How do you get the experience if you don't play?
Right.
All right. That was good. So San Francisco, moving towards this game.
Just tell me the 3 wide receivers ain't going to be there.
Well, Shanahan said about Ayuk, we're worried that it's an ACL.
I hope it's not ACL, but don't play.
Don't play. Just go sit and
just be nursing
sit and rest.
Yeah.
They had already said that Joanne Jennings was going to be iffy. Someone pointed out, I was watching, this guy was supposed to, I don't know if he was like the website guy for the 49ers, but he said for McCaffrey, he was still ramping up.
Right.
And he also pointed out that they got to bye the following week.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they're thinking, well, maybe get him ready, get the bye.
Is the tight end still involved in it?
Kittle has been his number one target. Can we cover him?
We can, because we were missing receivers, so we can get him covered. The thing that hurts, remember this, at the end of the year, I don't want to hear why we didn't use Jake Ferguson. Is he hurt? Is he beat up? What's wrong with Jake Ferguson?
You want to use him more, is what you're saying.
He should be coming off the field.
He is 100% all in. What is the issue? Mick, come on, dig in. I mean,
that's your assignment.
That's my assignment.
You got
That's your
one of the
assignment.
biggest legal pads in America.
That's
and
your
you have
assignment.
nothing about tight end Ferguson.
Is to find out what's going on there.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's the second
And
leading.
tear Everson tomorrow.
He's
so
the
we'll
second leading
Everson's
receiver
not here
on
tomorrow.
the team.
Everson's not here tomorrow. He's
Okay,
on
well.
assignment tomorrow and the next day.
Okay, I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll be
Yes,
here.
I knew we'd get a commitment.
He's got 25 catches for 240 yards.
I do need to look this up.
Ferguson.
They need to use him closer to the goal line.
Oh my God, he should have like 35 to 40 catches.
After 6 games?
Because I'm serious. Because he can work in the middle of the field.
I know.
He can be a late guy that can find your zones underneath. What we have to realize here as Cowboy fans, and I can't tell the coaches what to do, but what's wrong with Dinkin and Duncan? What's wrong with Dinkin and Duncan?
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
take what the defense gives you.
right, and sometimes
And by the way, on the goal line, little out over here to Tolbert instead of throwing to the corner of the end zone to Lamb, that takes away one of those.
I'm with you. I saw it.
interceptions.
I saw it.
Okay, we got more to get to.
I'm not
And
gonna say
we
what
have
Troy
a commitment.
said.
We have a commitment from Nate. He's going to be back
Find out
tomorrow.
what's the deal with Ferguson.
But you're finding out what's the deal with Ferguson, and Nate's going to be back here tomorrow for the next edition of Mick Shots. Go.
yeah. Cowboys. Go on, Cowboys. Go on. Go on.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!